In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to turn a $10,000 investment into Tibbir into 665K potentially. All right, so I'm gonna go through why I think this. I'm gonna briefly cover what Tibbir is, and I say briefly because I made an in-depth video on Tibbir going through literally everything. It's the best Tibbir video on the internet. And I also made a yield farming video talking about how I'm accumulating Tibbir at 1% per day. So definitely give those videos a watch if you haven't. Both of the links are in the description. So having that said, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. Let's dive straight into the video, starting off with what is Tibbir. So the problem is that banks burn around $100 million on KYC and compliance, and they don't have little to show for it. And Ribbit Capital wrote this letter to their investors in 2024, more on Ribbit Capital in a bit, talking about how you can make identity an asset instead of a cost. So you can kind of think of it as reusable ID credentials that banks and fintech companies use once and get paid every time another institution verifies them. So in short, it basically turns compliance into a revenue stream, just like Visa turned payments into a $185 billion a year industry for card issuers. How they propose to do this is through something they call a digital backpack, which is like a portable user-controlled identity layer, or a digital backpack of your credentials that you carry with you to any app. So that means you don't have any more repetitive signups, redundant ID checks. It's just one trusted login unlocks everything. And onboarding onto all these different platforms, exchanges, new bank accounts, all this stuff, instead of having to submit multiple PDFs and wait days, you have your digital backpack with everything you need, and you can sign up with a click of a button. It makes these companies money, and it makes onboarding for all these different companies seamless as well, which will increase their customer base and lower their customer acquisition costs. So the team behind Ribbit Capital, which is Tibbir spelled backwards, is a guy by the name of Mickey Malka. They have a big team, but Mickey Malka is famous in the Valley. Ribbit Capital has $12 billion in assets under management, and just the companies that they invested into makes this kind of proposition perfect. So if we go to their website, you can see they invested into Aave, Arbitrum. They're literally one of the top VCs in the world. Brex. When you look at all these, think about digital identity. Coinbase, Ethereum, ID.me, and it's a lot of these companies I don't even know, but I'm pretty sure they're all within the identity layer. Plaid, everyone uses Plaid. Revolut, Robinhood, Solana, Taxbit. And it's funny, he made a Tibbir trust, and I talked about this in the video. Go give that video a watch. Trust me, this might be my call of the year. Right? You only need one trade per year to really move the needle on your net worth, and this could be that. He put like $5 million of Robinhood stocks into that trust, and it's called Tibbir. It's a Tibbir trust. It's SEC filing, right? No denying that. And everyone's on Twitter blowing up, talking about how he's a part of it. A guy like him, if he wasn't a part of it, he would have said something by now. And you have all these top VCs and executives on Twitter following the Tibbir account. So if we go on to CoinGecko, you can see right now their market cap is $75,334,474. Guys, that's a baby. That's a baby. And even better, it was a stealth launch, right? They don't even have a website yet, which is crazy, right? They launched on virtuals on the Base network. Go watch my most recent video on Base, where I talk about how I think a lot of liquidity is going to be onboarded into Base. So I've been mainly researching Base altcoins. Also go watch my video on Native. I think that's going to be a huge Base project as well. What's even better is that they have a fully diluted valuation of the same thing. So that means all the tokens are on the market, right? It's no VC investment. Like, this is just a fair launch. All right, now let's get to the good stuff. This is my take profit plan written on my to-do list notebook. I don't have my big notebook here, so I just wrote it on here. And people have grown to appreciate this. Yes, I have it on the Google Doc too, but I just like to write things down. It's cool to look back on. So this is my Tibbir take profit plan. And guys, it's good to know when you're getting out before you get in. And when you're setting your take profit plan, it's good to have a conservative and aggressive estimate and have a plan set up to where even if it doesn't hit your conservative or even if it exceeds your aggressive, you're still able to take some good cream off the top, if you know what I mean. So current price, 7 cents. Current market cap and FDV, 75,334,474 at the time of when I made this. And I have a conservative and an aggressive estimate. For my conservative, I think it can go to $1 billion market cap. For my aggressive, I think it can go to 10 billion because it's a huge problem that they're solving. So current holdings is at 10K. My first take profit is going to be when it does a 6X. right? So that'll bring the price from 7 cents to 42 cents. And that'll bring the market cap from 75.3 million to 52 million, $6,844. So that'll turn my 10K into 60K. So I'm taking off 15K. Why am I taking off 15K? Well, when you're investing, your first goal should always be to get your principal back and a little bit of profit so that you can get into a risk-free trade as quick as possible, right? So I'm taking back my principal, 10K, plus some profits. So now I'm up 50% on the trade, right? Technically up 150, but I'm getting my money back, all right? So boom, now I have 45K left, okay? So my next take profit is gonna be when it does a 10X. That'll bring the price from 42 cents to $4.20. That'll bring the market cap from 452 million and some change to 4,520,068,440. That's gonna turn my 45K into 450K. First off, before I even go to this, why did I take profits at a 10X? Well, remember, first thing, my conservative is 1 billion, right? But I don't wanna wait till it gets there because what if some event happens and it drops? If it drops because of something external that happens in the market and not because anything fundamentally wrong with this project, if it dips, I'll just buy back in, right? So I'm gonna be buying back in too, especially before my conservative target is reached. After my conservative, I'm just gonna keep letting it ride. But also I wanted to take profits at 4.5 billion because 5 billion is a pretty psychological level that a lot of people are probably going to be taking profits at. So I like to take profits before the psychological level, before where I know all the traders are looking. So at this point, I'm taking off 250K, a little more than half, right? So now, boom, 250K in profits. I still have 200K left. My next take profit is going to be when it does a 2X. That's going to bring the price from $4.20 to $8.40. That's going to bring the market cap from 4.5 billion to 9 billion, 40 million, $136,880. Same thing here. I don't want to wait till it gets to 10 billion to take profits because that's a huge psychological level. I want to take profits before that. Traders are looking at it. So boom, now my 200K is worth 400K. So now we're pretty much at my aggressive estimate. This first one, I did a 6X just because I want to get my money back, right? Boom. This next one, I'm being more aggressive. And then this next one, I'm being even more aggressive on the take profits, right? Because I'm getting towards, you're at 10 billion. That was my aggressive estimate. So I want to take the most off the table because anything up from there, I'm going to give you my plan from there. This is exceeding what I hope. So I'm not going to get greedy. I'm taking off 350K. So boom. So now you have these profits over here. You still have 50K left in the position. You just turned a $10,000 investment to 665K. Now you're probably wondering, well, what are you going to do with the remaining 50K? At this point, it's a couple things that I'm looking at. One, if it continues to go up, I'm going to be dollar cost averaging out of the market. So every time it goes up 25%, I'm taking out 50% of the position, okay? And if Bitcoin drops hella or Ethereum drops below 4K, this is assuming ETH is at 7K, 8K, 6K or something like that. If ETH drops a lot, it's going to suck a lot of liquidity from altcoins. So I would just sell all of it. If ETH drops a lot or if Bitcoin drops a lot. And then you have to keep in mind, I'm still yield farming. So, this 10K might turn into, depending on how long it takes for it to pump, might turn to 15K, it might turn to 20. And I'll still just, extrapolate that with my take profit plan. And another thing to think about that you may want to consider that I'm going to do, I'm going to have another bag on the side where I'm only going to take profit at 5 billion and a $10 billion market cap, right? So I kind of section it off because this is, I feel like, a really unique opportunity. So I really want to maximize what I can do here. So yeah, I'm going to have another bag on the side where I'm risking it a little bit more for that biscuit, if you know what I'm saying. So guys, before we wrap up here, if you want to get access to some of the best research in crypto, and you want to learn how to manage your portfolio like a professional market maker and be able to yield farm and accumulate high quality assets, and if you don't have time to do all the research and all that stuff, we're doing a 49 weeks to freedom challenge. For the first 100 people that join, we're charging only $58 per month, just as a bull market kickoff celebration. We got a lot of people coming in, so you got two options. One, click the link in the description. You can book a free strategy session. You can see if our program is a good fit for you. Or visit our website, knowitout.xyz. It explains everything that you get with each package. Or two, you can join our free community just to see what the vibe is like. But You know, when I'm doing all this research, like such as the Tibbir videos, such as the native video and other altcoins that I'm releasing, I make the videos unlisted on YouTube first, and then I release it to the community around 3 days before it goes live on the YouTube. And sometimes this stuff is time sensitive. So if that sounds interesting to you, you already know the options. But with that, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Let me know what altcoins you guys want me to research next. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I love every single one of you who tuned in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and trade safe.